Eccoci qua!
Sono veramente contento che siate qui con me oggi.
Anche oggi, mattina, pomeriggio, sera, notte. Dai, facciamo partire i secondi.
Mi stai guardando?
Ma mi stai ascoltando? Devi seguirmi.
Ti vedo, eh?
Adesso li faccio ripartire quando sei più attento. Metti giù il telefono e guarda tranquillamente questa chiacchierata. Secondo me ti diverti.
Viviamo il presente. E nel caso non dovessimo più vederci, buon pomeriggio, buonasera e buonanotte.
Eccoci qua, good morning Nina.
Good morning, buongiorno.
Buongiorno, qua è buonanottissima. Cioè...
Sì, certo.
And today we mix English and Italian and Sicilian. You can also speak in Sicilian language if you
Certo,
want.
sì. Come viene, how it comes out, io non lo so.
And what day is today?
Oggi è domenica.
No, oggi è sabato.
Sabato, certo, sabato alla notte. Oggi è domenica mattina qui.
Sì.
Sydney.
Oggi qui da me è sabato 25 marzo 2023, sono le 11:05 della notte, e invece dove sei tu Nina, dicevi?
26 di marzo, sono le 9 o'clock nella mattina, in the morning. Sì. 1923. No, 2023.
Come dice,
io sono vecchia.
tu, come dice Maria, dice sempre avanti Nina, tu sei più avanti di noi.
Ciao
Tu sei,
Maria.
adesso hai detto a Sydney.
Sì, adesso siamo in Sydney, sì. Che ho domandato?
No, ho chiesto se abiti a Sydney.
Sydney, sì, in Manly. Sydney,
Okay.
Australia, in Manly. Manly è una città che è molto bella, è vicino il mare. It's near the ocean. I live very close to the ocean.
Fine. So, this is the live number 814 from the beginning and the 84 in 2023.
Oh, bene.
And how do we meet?
We met, ho incontrato perché Maria è la tua fidanzata. Sì? Because Maria è mia cugina. Maria is my cousin, and she knows you, and she knows you well.
And when you came in Sicily, we don't meet. So,
No. È un peccato.
So next time we can meet really.
Sì, in Sicilia or in Bologna, but we must meet. Now we've only met by technology.
Yeah. And who is Nina in one word?
Una sola, ok. Nonna. Grandma.
And so we can start from there, from this photo. So you tell grandma and we show this.
Yes, these are my two lovely granddaughters, nipotini. The one on the right, alla destra, è Lottie. The one on the left, è piccolina, è Delilah. Adesso hanno 20 mesi Lottie, 16 mesi Delilah, or Didi. We call her Didi. And I was waiting, aspettavo per I miei figli to have grandchildren, for my children to have grandchildren. And niente, ma 2 anni fa insieme bambini. So yes, within 4 months, 2 of them had children. So now I'm very busy, busy nonna.
Non ti annoi.
No, sono belli. And I spend time looking after them. And they call me silly nonna because I'm crazy. Sono un po' pazza. Gioco sempre o play. The other day ero con Lottie. E Lottie giocavamo, ero andiamo al dottore. I went to the doctor to get a blood test, and we were sitting in the doctor's waiting room. Aspettiamo per vedere il dottore. Io giocavo, and Lottie said, "Silly nonna." And she calls me silly nonna because sono un po' pazza.
And you tell them about you when you was in Sicily, with history or something?
No, sono piccolini adesso. They're too small now, ma quando sono più grandi, sì. When they're older, of course, I will tell them. Yes, I will tell them about my life in Sicily and what I learned about growing up in Sicily and in Australia, because we arrived in Perth 1962. Yeah. Sì. I forgot that I put this one in. Questo è Nunziatina Caruso. That's my Italian name.
I find it on the net.
Because questa è quando era 19, era alla università, e questa eravamo con i miei amici, and we were just, and that photo was taken when I was 19 years old, much younger than now, but I like the photo.
Yeah. There is similar with Sofia Loren. Eh?
Oh, you're wonderful, Lucio.
There is one photo of Sofia Loren is more similar of this photo.
Oh, show me. Yeah, what?
I find it. And you tell me you are in a place near the ocean. Is this?
Yes, this is a view from my window. when you go onto the balcony, see, you have to come to Australia. Deve venire a Sydney, a Manly. Questo è from from my balcony, and it's lovely because across the road is the water. Yeah, and I've been here for nearly 20 years, 20 anni. È un appartamento, non è grande, but it's lovely. And I walk to the shops, I walk to Manly. Also, Manly, you can come to Manly from Sydney by ferry. So a lot of people, tante gente, come on sabato, domenica, quando ci sono le vacanze. They come to Manly per notare, per ristoranti. È bello.
È più bello il mare della Sicilia o il mare dell'Australia o l'oceano dell'Australia?
Ah, now you're asking me to choose. Both are beautiful for different reasons. Yes, in Manly there is the surf. You know, surfing. In Sicilia, no, non c'è the surf so much, but both are beautiful.
E però il mare, l'acqua dell'oceano è più fredda, no? Rispetto al mare della Sicilia.
Un po'. Sì. Ma è pulita.
Sì.
It's clean, it's lovely, yeah. And ci sono lots of fish and dolphins sometimes, yeah. And sometimes even whales. Come si dice whales in Italian?
Balene.
Balene, yes, sì. È bello. Sì.
I show you. Where is this? Yeah. It's the same.
Oh, wow. She's so beautiful, Mano. You
are the same.
You've made my day. You've made my day, Lucio, by finding a photo of Sophia Loren.
You have a different kind of hair, but it's the same.
Yeah.
So,
grazie.
Why you choose to go in Australia?
Devo parlare inglese perché ok. Mio padre, my father, è arrivato in Australia in 1950, 1953. No, yeah, 1953, 1953. And perché in Sicilia there was no work, so he decided that he would try after the war to try and find a better life for him mostly. He came back in 1954. He left my mother pregnant with me, incinta con me, and dopo aspettato, he waited 8 years before we came in 1962. I turned 8 on the boat. The boat was called Australia. Australia at that time needed a lot of migrants because its population was going down. So it opened up its borders. But interestingly, this is a different story, mostly European. It did not open the borders to Asia, to China, or to other countries. European. We have an interesting history in Australia about that, but that's another story. So my mother, with 4 children, we went on the boat in 1962. Took us about 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. We arrived on the 25th of June, 1962. So it's been a lot of years, 61 years, yes, since we went to Fremantle. And that's my family is in Fremantle. Mia famiglia, tutti sono in Perth, Western Australia. Yeah.
Also, my grandfather was in Perth.
Of course, yes, and he, of course, was one of the people who was here because of the war. Yeah,
Yeah,
is that right?
yeah.
Yes, because we researched it for you. We went to the library.
Yeah, you sent me, I think 3 photos, but
Mhm.
I know that there is a mix on the name and surname. There was difficult, I think, to find it, because in Italy he have a name and in Australia he have another name.
Certo, è lo stesso per me. I'm the same, perché il mio nome quando era nato in Sicilia era Nunziatina Caruso. Adesso sono Nina Burridge. E questo è molto difficile per me, perché ci sono tante I have so many names that the Italian consulate says, "Who are you?" Or the consulate in Sicily says, "Who are you? You have so many names." But that's the way it was. Yes. This is my mother and my father there. Maria Caruso and Nunzio Caruso. But of course, her name was also Maria Lenzo. And the Italian women don't change their names when they get married. But in Australia, they do. That's the problem that happens. So I became Nina Burridge. Oh, no, well, another story. Nancy Burridge, because quando era alla scuola, when I was at school, the nuns, Catholic nuns, gave me the name Nancy. So io ho un altro nome, si chiama Nancy Caruso. E dopo non mi piaceva e così ho fatto Nina.
But you can change the name as you want.
Well, no, you have to go through a lot of process. It's the same in Italy. You have to go through official processes. So è difficile. My friends, i miei amici tell me, Nina, change your name. Nina Caruso, much better than Nina Burridge. So, but yeah, oh my goodness, yes. This is a photograph of mio fratello, Salvatore, me, and nipotina, Liv. We have our birthdays on the same day, 15th of June, 15 di giugno. Giugno? Sì. Io sono Salvatore è 71, io sono 69 in giugno, and Liv è 6, penso. She thinks she's 6. Yeah, could be coming up to 7. So yeah, è una fotografia è bella. È sempre, every year, we try and come together for our birthdays. So, in giugno io vado a Perth with to see my brother, to see my little nipoti. Sì. Ah! Ah, a lovely thing about my family is that we're very close. Um, a lot of families can have disputes between their brothers and sisters, but we are very close. We get on very well, and maybe it's because we are in different states. Now, this is Vincenzo from La Sinistra. Vincenzo, Angela, Salvatore, Nunziatina, Nina or Nancy, Giovanni, Roberto. And Vince is the eldest, and then we go down to Robbie, who's the youngest. So, but we try and come together a lot because we're quite close and we talk a lot too. So it's a lovely family, and it's the one thing that I thank my mother for, because my mother Maria was an incredibly strong woman who really liked being in Australia because it gave her children a future. We used to talk to her and we used to say, Mum, would you like to go back to Sicily? She said, I love my family, but no, it's much better for you to be here. And we have achieved a lot as a family. I don't know whether, I have my eldest brother, Vincent, he was a well-known doctor. My sister is a teacher. Salvatore is a wonderful builder. I went to university. I studied. I became a teacher, and then I graduated and I have a doctorate. I taught at university for 30 years. I'm now retired, but my brothers, we've all done very well simply because we had opportunities, and my mother was amazing in keeping us all together. So we're very grateful for that. Yeah.
And if you don't go and don't stay in Australia, what do you think you do in Sicily?
I would love to go back to Sicily, because when I was there in 2020 and we were going to stay for 12 months, but COVID happened and we couldn't. And I loved catching up with Maria, with Melina, with all my relatives. I want to connect up with them. And I felt very much at home. I felt, yes, there's a photo. Yes, when we were there. That was in 2012. Yeah. We were there because it was our 50th anniversary of arriving in Australia. 50 anni. Yeah. And for me, Sicily, I feel very at home. I feel that this is where I grew up. I remember it well, and I automatically felt really at home in Sicily. So what I would like to do is I would really like to come back there and to talk to Zia Caterina, to talk to my cousins, and to write a family history.
Yeah.
But now that I'm a busy nonna, it's not easy.
And also you can't eat the cannoli in Australia.
We can eat cannoli, but they're not as good. Not so borny. We're always looking at cannoli and having, jokes with cannoli. No, no, non è buono, no. My mother used to make lovely cannoli. So yes, that's something else. And she used to make them. Yeah, I'm lazy. I buy them.
And in the university, what do you teach, and how was the student in Australia?
See. I started teaching in a university in 1991. I was a history teacher when I trained, and then because I was good, I was crazy. I was always doing interesting things with the students. I got a job in a university to train teachers. And so and I've always, then I studied. I got my master's in education, then I got my PhD, and then I became, I stayed in universities ever since that time. So what I do is I train people to be teachers, to teach young children in secondary school, in crazy teenagers. And all teenagers are crazy right around the world. And university students, they're so fun. They're a bit more mature, but they're funny and they're good. And that's why I love teaching. I love teaching because it keeps you young. I say, in my head, sono 16 anni, 18. I'm always young because I always work with young people, and that's a lovely thing about being in a university. No, and the students are great, but at the moment, of course, with COVID, it's a bit different. Online, I don't like online. Yeah.
And Maria told me that you make a project or something like this about the indigenous people.
Oh yes.
We speak about it today, or you want to speak about this in another live? Only
I can do it another time if you like, but I thought I was sorry that I didn't give you a picture to talk about it, so we can do it. Yeah,
next
I spent
time we
more
speak.
time on family. Yeah,
Next time we speak only about indigenous people.
of course. Yeah, and we have a big issue at the moment in Australia that we're going to have to vote on. It's called the Voice, giving voice to Aboriginal people. Big issue happening at the moment. So that's interesting globally.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah. Ah, that's just, this one is the same as the other one with the family. This is all my big family in Perth, and we have someone here who you probably or Maria knows well, Giovanni. Giovanni is a cugino. Giovanni, this one, yes, that one. And Giovanni and Jonah there next to him, they met in Perth. Giovanni and Jonah are now married, and they have a baby, Severio. And Jonah was looking after the children of one of my cousins, mia cugina, Nari, and she met Giovanni. And now they're back in Santa Margherita, and he's a chef, and they live there. So, and my family has been visiting them. This is all my family here. We go to Perth often, as I say, and we always go Christmas time, per Natale, or Giugno when it's birthday time for us. See, and we have a wonderful time together. Last year, we had a family exhibition, art exhibition. We all had to make something. And there was Salvatore, who, as I said, was a great builder. He is renovating a historic building, and we all put our artworks. We all brought our artworks with us if we were flying. They all, even the children, made some things, or and we displayed it. We had an art exhibition. So we're always doing something together, which is very nice. Yeah.
And the two shadow?
I'm trying to see who that was. Yes, and the dog, which I thought was a good one. I think that's who's not there. I'm not. Oh no, not you. I'm not sure who that is. It's a good point. Or who the dog is. Yeah.
The place more nice of Australia.
Ci sono tanti posti che sono belli. Let me think. Margaret River. Margaret River is where that photo was taken from. Margaret River is where Salvatore lives, up at the Margaret River. È bello. Così c'è la spiaggia, the beaches, there's beautiful forest. It's lovely, yeah. So I think Margaret River is beautiful. Also, Uluru. Uluru is where the big rock in the middle of the desert. That's lovely too. Very different. Australia is incredibly diverse country. It is so big. We only have 26 or 27 million people, all spread out everywhere. It's the size of Europe. It's so big. And Western Australia, where my family lives, is huge. But it's there's some amazing country to see everywhere. Like Italy. Italy is beautiful.
Italy is like Sydney.
Yes, that's right. Exactly. But it is stunning. There's so many wonderful things. And, when I was in Sicily, the ancient ruins in Sicily and in Italy is just amazing. They're everywhere. You have such history. But similarly with us, we have some amazing ancient ruins from Aboriginal people, which I have also seen. To go to the Kimberley in Western Australia and to look at the ancient carvings of Aboriginal people. So there's beautiful things. Humans are amazing, in what we have produced generally. There are things that we shouldn't be doing. But of course,
But
nature is beautiful.
When you make 1,000 kilometers in Italy, you go from the south to the north, and in Australia, 1,000 kilometers, you change only city.
Exactly. No, absolutely. That is so true. Exactly. Yeah, and there's a lot of desert and nothing in between. Yes. The roads are just open, no houses, no nothing. Yeah, but the country is lovely to see. I like going into the desert. Yeah. Questo è Riccardo, and that's me. Now I thought I'd put it in there to show you how life can change. This is was taken in probably 2016, because I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2016, and so I had to have surgery and chemotherapy and radiotherapy, and of course I lost all my hair. So you can see there that I it's all very loose. So that, but of course the important aspect of this photo is that despite being sick, despite going through a terrible time with the chemo, it all, as I say to people, we have a very good health system in Australia, and I was able, I've survived this, and I'm fine, and I'm good, and it's a photograph which illustrates that hope is very important, and having good family around you, my partner Ricardo, and my family, my children, is very, very important to having a good life. And in the end, I have a good life. I've, we've all gone through problems, but on the other hand, we've come through them and we've survived them. So that's good.
The last photo, this.
Well, I wanted to put that one in because this is in 2003, and it shows I have a very activist background. Activist, what's the Italian word for activist? Protester. I've been involved in politics a lot in my community. I've been involved with local government, with state government, and we have done a lot of work on trying to make the world better. And this is a protest. This is a photograph of 2003 when the Americans were about to invade Iraq, and there was a big protest for no war, no war. And you can see the people there. Two protesters, one of them who was a friend of mine, climbed up the Sydney Opera House. This is a famous Sydney Opera House. And they climbed up, because you could do that then. They didn't have too many guards. And they wrote "No War" on the sails of the Opera House. As you know, this is a very famous building, but they painted the "No War" sign, and they were arrested, and they were put in detention, weekend detention, for 18 months. So, and they had to pay a really big fine. So we were trying to raise money by selling those photographs and pictures with "No War" on it. And they did a lot of campaigns to raise money, and they raised the money to pay the fine. And so that photograph to me is very important. In one of the things that I do is to promote peace in the world, try to make the world a better place. So we were protesting, and we marched in the streets saying "No war," and that's what we have to do. Look what's happening in the Ukraine at the moment. So so it's very important that we citizens protest.
I show This one. I find it more near.
Oh, yes. That's exactly right. Yeah. Good one. Yeah. That's that's the police there too, I think, trying to arrest the people who paint. Oh, yes, and that's also cleaning it up, I think. They had to get out there and clean it all up. That's why it
Mm.
was so expensive, yes. But it was good because they showed that protest can work to try and tell people that we do not want a war. Yeah. So
And now I put this link that is a project I'm doing with Maria in Sant'Angelo.
Oh, lovely.
And I give you 1 minute to tell us what you have on your head and you want to leave to the other
Okay.
when you want.
Sorry, I misunderstood. Do you want me to speak now? No.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. What I would like to, the message that I would like to leave to the world is that at the moment we are facing some really big crises in the world. I worry, not for me because I'm old, I worry for my children, my grandchildren. I would like the world to be a better place in terms of peace, in terms of climate change. We really, our young people have to really engage with the world, and we hope that they will make the world a better place for themselves, because some of our politicians have not done the right thing at the moment. I would really like to fight for a peaceful future, for democracy to be much more strong and to be able to really focus on the idea that working together as a global world, we might have different religions, we might have different views and politics, but humanity is the most important aspect, that we need to look after each other and the planet.
How is possible in Australia is always in peace?
Well, we are very lucky because, as I said, we're a big nation with fewer people, but we need to do a lot more for nature, for our world, for working together. We have some very different views in terms of politics, in terms of religion, etc. But at the same time, we are all human beings, and we need to understand that we live as one in one planet, and we all have to work for its future.
Project from tomorrow to the next 6 months.
Oh, for me,
Yeah.
I was going to say babysitting. No, no, I think I would really like to be able to focus on getting my sister Angela and I to start writing our family history, and to linking with Maria, with the others in Sicily, in Italy, to make that happen.
And now you can make me a question.
Okay. what motivates you in the work that you do? What?
This one?
Yeah, this one, other work, yeah.
I don't know. I'm crazy. I think like you or more.
I understand. Yes.
I probably I don't know what I'm doing every day.
Yes.
Or why I'm doing this. But I'm happy to make it, and I go away, I continuo, come si dice?
Yeah. Continui, sì, perché ti piace. Sì.
Sì.
Sì. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. And sì, sei pazzo, un po' pazzo. Come me. Yes, that's good.
And Maria is on this way too.
Oh, ma not as much as you or I. She's more sensible. Come si dice sensible in Italian?
Sensibile.
Sì.
And if you can change one thing in the world, what do you change?
I'm going to be political and say, get rid of Putin. No. Yeah, peace. Look for peace. And not just Putin, leaders who are autocratic. Power, we say in English, power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. That's a famous saying. So, yeah, to understand that it is not about getting power and money, it is about working together.
And if you must go away in the next 5 minutes without come back, what do you take with you?
Interesting. My photographs. Yeah, remembering things. Yeah.
And now I leave you alone, and you can tell what do you want and speak about what do you want, and I come back soon.
What do I want? Oh, what do I want? For myself, I want a healthy life, a life where I don't have too many more illnesses because I've had enough. For my family, I would like them to be happy together with their children for a happy future. For my country, I would like to see good government. I would like to see Australia become a fairer society. For the world, the same. I would like to be able to see if all refugees in the world are resettled somewhere where we have peace and we get rid of poverty. I know that is idealistic. I know that is something that is not achievable, but at the same time, we could try to work towards it.
Momento invadente. Have you got a red book near you?
You didn't tell me that. Let me see. Okay, I got one.
So go on page 18 and read the line 10.
Oh, okay. 18, line 10. 1, 2, 3. The awakening of critical consciousness leads the way to the expression of social discontents, precisely because of the discontents are real components of an oppressive situation. That this comes from. Do you want me to talk about the book?
Yeah.
Okay, this is one of the writers that I was reading when I did my first university degree. You can't see it. Pedagogy of the Oppressed, Paulo Freire. He is a South American writer who wrote about the pedagogy of the oppressed, the need to emancipate people. And it's been one of the guiding books in my teaching, that education is about emancipation. Education teaches you that you are a human being, that you have rights, that you have the capacity to try and improve the world, and that's what as well as yourself, but also the world. So that's an important book that has framed my teaching career and my university career. Paulo Freire's Pedagogy of the Oppressed. And I still have it, even though this is the 1970s. He wrote this in 1967 or 69, but I still have it, and it's still relevant. And it was just up there on my bookshelf.
Tomorrow morning you get up and
Tomorrow morning I get up and I am going to I am doing some work for one of the universities, so I will be visiting a school and watching student teachers teach, and then I write a report. But then I go babysitting in the afternoon.
Okay, Nina, I thank you very much for the live for today. We stay in contact for another live for speaking about the indigenous people and Australia. And I thank to Maria too that writing, and also to Vittorio Piccinini, Laura Salcido from Mexico, Roberta Ricci from Bologna, and Dennis Argazzi from near here. Vittorio Piccinini is from Teramo in Abruzzo. And all the people who listen us in Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on the podcast of Spotify soon. And have a good Sunday.
Grazie. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I couldn't speak in Italian all the time.
Okay, ciao. Next time we speak in Italian and in Sicilian.
Sicilian, yes. Okay. Ciao.
Ciao.